All right, in this video, we're going to review plotting points on the coordinate plane and how to match up the table of values with one of the equations. And this is going to take care of questions 19, 20, followed by 21. All right, so back to number 19. All right, so we want to know which one of these equations represents this set of ordered pairs. Remember, just a relation is a set of ordered pairs. The relationship between them is that you move over on the x-axis, left or right, and then you move up or down on the y-axis, and then it'll get plotted. So first, what I did on the coordinate plane, I want to remind you guys that it's quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have the horizontal x-axis and the vertical y-axis. Now, if I want to plot this first point, I'm going to move back 2, down 11, and it's going to be down here. The next point, I'd move over 2, up 1. And for the third point, I'd move over 6, up 13 from the origin. And so now we can see I've got the 3 points plotted. Basically, the question is asking which one of these equations generates this table of values, meaning if I plug in the -2 into one of these equations, I'm going to get -11. Now, I'm going to choose to plug in the 2 because it's not negative. And I also saw that the second one said to do 8 times x. And I was like, 8 times 6, like, let's not deal with that big number. So I'm just going to plug in 2 into all of these equations and look for which one gives me the output of 1. So let's start with the first one. If I plug in 2, 2 plus 7 should be 9. So y would be 9, so it's not A. All right, the next one. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 5, we should see a 21 here. We want a 1. All right, next. 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So far we found a winner. And let's see if 2 would work for the next one. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 minus 5 is also 1. So both C and D are in the running. So now what we have to do is we have to pick another point. And at least we've now narrowed it down to C and D. So now, just because I like to avoid negatives, now I'm going to plug in the 6. And I'm going to plug it in right here. And then I'm going to plug it in here and see which one gives me the 13. All right? So 2 times 6 is 12. And 12 minus 3 is 9. So it's not C. All right? 6 times 3 is 18. And 18 minus 5 is, in fact, 13. So we found this one is going to be answer choice D. All right? Now let's take a look at question 20. Now on your Google Slides, you do see these points plotted. And what I did here in the video was I just listed those points over here in the table. So to remind you guys, as I highlight them, I'll just highlight along the way. This first point, I had to move back 3, down 2 to get there. And so there's back 3. Oops, I should put down 2. Let me fix that real quick. Back 3, down 2. All right, for the next point, it was back 2, and then I did not move up or down. So there's the back 2, and then me not moving up or down. For this next point, let me highlight it here in yellow. So it's back 1, up 2. So this is me going back 1, up 2 in the chart. For the next point, it's 0, 4. So 0, up 4. And the next one, I'm going to move over 1, up 6. So over 1, up 6. And there's that point. So now I just wanted to point out that your strategy can be to just list those points off to the side. And now we're just going to pick one of these inputs to plug in and see which equation it is. Now I'm going to avoid all of these negative numbers to plug in. I'm going to choose this one to plug in. Plugging in a 0 is super easy. It's going to cancel out. So that cancels out. Plugging in 0 cancels out. Plugging in 0 cancels out. Plugging in 0 cancels out. And we want a positive 4. So it's got to be either A or D based on that. So B and C are knocked out now. And at this point, we will need to choose another point to plug in. And I'm going to pick the positive 1, just because, once again, I like to avoid negatives. So if I plug in a 1 here, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. This one would have said to plug in a 1 right here and get a -2, and -2 plus 4 would have been a positive 2. But this one gave us the 6 that we want, so it's going to be answer choice A. So your strategy here would be to literally just take these points, list them out, and then use the numbers to plug into the equation. And now we have one more question for this video. Larry charges a customer a one-time fee of $15, and then $40 each week. So weekly, he's charging $40, and then the constant is going to be this one-time fee of 15 bucks. So now up top, we have our equation, and we're going to simply plug in the 1 and the 3, because 1 and 3 are the proposed inputs for all of these tables of values. So if we plug in a 1, if somebody is only going to be using Larry for 1 week, that's $40. So 1 week plus the $15 one-time fee, 1 week is going to be $55. So we're looking for an input of 1 and an output of 55. So let's see what we've got. Input of 1, output of 15. Bye-bye. Input of 1, output of 55. So far, so good. Input of 1, output of 55. It's in the running. Input of 1, output of 15. See you later. All right, now let's input 3. So $40 for 3 weeks is going to be $120 plus 15 one-time fee. So 3 weeks is going to be $135. So we had it narrowed down to B and C, and we're now looking for 3 $135, 3 $135. So this one is going to be answer choice C. And that concludes the video on how to match tables of values to equations and scenarios. Thank you.